3, 2, 1.
On the edge of the world where the wild North Atlantic crashes against the Orkney Islands of Scotland, lies a place frozen in time. This is Skara Brae, a village made of stone, older than the Great Pyramids of Egypt, older than Stonehenge. It sits nestled into the green earth, facing the stunning windswept Bay of Skyle. For thousands of years, this village was buried under sand and soil, its secrets hidden from sight, its story forgotten. It's a place that speaks not of kings or great battles, but of ordinary people, of families who lived their lives by the rhythm of the sea and the seasons. To walk here is to step directly into the world of our distant ancestors, a world that feels both incredibly remote and strangely familiar. The sheer location of Skara Brae tells us so much about the people who built it. They chose this spot for a reason. The bay provided food from the ocean, and the land, though buffeted by fierce winds, was fertile enough for farming. These ancient people were not isolated hermits. They were part of a thriving community that understood its environment intimately. They knew how to harness the resources around them, using the flagstone that splits so easily into flat slabs to create not just walls, but an entire world. The village is a testament to their ingenuity and their deep connection to the land, a bond that allowed them to survive and flourish in a place that can be beautiful one moment and brutally harsh the next. Imagine standing here on a clear day with the turquoise water of the bay stretching out before you and the cries of seabirds filling the air. You can almost feel the presence of the people who lived here 5,000 years ago. You can picture them walking along the same shoreline, gathering shellfish, or watching their children play among the dunes. The village is more than just a collection of ancient ruins. It is a powerful link to our shared human past. It reminds us that long before written history, long before empires rose and fell, people were building homes, raising families, and creating communities with a skill and resilience that is nothing short of breathtaking. The magic of Skara Brae lies in its incredible preservation. Because it was cocooned in sand for millennia, it was protected from the ravages of time and weather. This is not a place where you have to guess what a house might have looked like from a few foundation stones. Here, the walls still stand, the furniture is still in place, and the narrow alleyways still connect one home to another. It's a complete, intact prehistoric village, offering a window into the Neolithic world that is unparalleled anywhere in Europe. It's a quiet, powerful place that whispers stories of a lost way of life, waiting for us to listen and to learn. For thousands of years, Skara Brae slept beneath a large grassy mound known to locals as Skara Brae. The people of Orkney knew the mound was there, but no one suspected the astonishing secret it held within. The village's story could have remained hidden forever, a lost chapter in human history. But the weather in Orkney is a powerful force, a shaper of land and destiny. In the winter of 1850, a great storm raged across the islands. It was a tempest of legendary proportions, with violent winds and a high tide that tore at the coastline, ripping away the turf and sand from the Bay of Skyle and exposing something extraordinary that had been hidden for centuries. When the storm finally passed and the local people went out to survey the damage, they saw that the mound of Skara Brae had been partially torn open. Peeking out from the eroded earth were the outlines of stone walls. The local laird, William Watt of Skyle, was a man of curiosity. He began a simple excavation of the site, uncovering the remains of 4 ancient houses. It was a slow and careful process, revealing a world that no one had imagined existed. The work continued for some years, but eventually the site was abandoned, and sand once again began to reclaim the ancient stones, leaving the village to slumber for another 60 years. The story of Skara Brae's rediscovery was not yet over. In 1925, another fierce storm battered the coast, causing further damage to the partially excavated site and threatening to sweep the ancient structures into the sea. This time, the authorities knew that the village needed to be properly protected and fully investigated. The job was given to Professor Vere Gordon Child, a brilliant archaeologist who would lead a major excavation between 1928 and 1930. It was Child and his team who unearthed the rest of the village we see today, carefully clearing away the sand to reveal the interconnected houses and their remarkable contents. Under Child's expert guidance, the true nature of Skara Brae was brought to light. He and his team didn't just find walls, they found a complete village with stone furniture and covered passageways, all perfectly preserved. They realized they were looking at something incredibly special, a Neolithic settlement that offered an almost perfect snapshot of life 5,000 years ago. Thanks to those two powerful storms, a century apart, and the dedicated work of curious individuals, the lost village of Skara Brae was given back to the world, its silent stone structures ready to tell their incredible story once more. To step inside one of the houses at Skara Brae is to witness the genius of Neolithic people. Each home is a semi-subterranean stone bubble built into the earth for insulation against the relentless Orkney wind and winter cold. From the outside, they look like low mounds, but inside, they are surprisingly spacious and complex. The homes are all connected by a series of low-covered passageways, allowing villagers to move between houses without being exposed to the harsh weather. This design shows a remarkable level of community planning. They weren't just building individual shelters. They were creating a single, interconnected living space, a true village designed for communal living. The furniture inside each house is what makes Skara Brae truly unique. Everything was made from stone. In the center of the main room, you will find a square stone hearth where a fire would have burned, providing warmth, light, and a place to cook. On either side of the hearth are stone bed enclosures, which would have been filled with soft heather and animal skins to make them comfortable. The larger bed was traditionally for the man of the house, the smaller for the woman. Against one wall stands a magnificent stone dresser, a set of shelves where the family would have displayed their most prized possessions, perhaps polished stone tools, pottery, or beautiful jewelry. The cleverness of the villagers didn't stop with the furniture. They also created early forms of plumbing. Beneath the village runs a system of stone-lined drains, which may have carried waste away from the houses. Some homes even have a small cell-like room with a drain leading out of it, which archaeologists believe could have been an indoor toilet, an incredible innovation for a time so long ago. Water was likely collected from a nearby spring, and the villagers even carved stone boxes, lining them with clay to make them waterproof. These boxes, sunk into the floor, were probably used to store live bait for fishing, like limpets. Every detail in these stone homes speaks of a practical, resourceful, and intelligent people. They used the materials they had to solve the problems of daily life. The houses were not just shelters, they were comfortable, well-organized homes. The layout is surprisingly consistent from one house to another, suggesting a shared culture with strong traditions about how a home should be arranged. Looking at these stone beds, dressers, and hearths, you can easily imagine a family gathered around the fire, sharing stories while a storm raged outside, safe and warm in the home they had so skillfully crafted from the earth itself. The people of Skara Brae were farmers and herders. The bones found at the site tell us they kept cattle and sheep, which provided them with meat, milk, and wool. They also grew crops like barley, which they may have used to make bread or a simple ale. but their lives were also tied deeply to the sea. The nearby bay was a rich source of food. They ate fish, and huge piles of discarded shells show that they collected vast quantities of limpets and other shellfish from the shore. They were skilled hunters as well, catching seabirds and gathering their eggs from the towering coastal cliffs. Life was a constant cycle of work dictated by the seasons. Daily life was filled with craftsmanship. The villagers were expert stoneworkers, not only building their homes but also making a wide variety of tools. They carved intricate objects from bone and walrus ivory, including pins for fastening clothes, beads for decoration, and mysterious carved stone balls, whose purpose is still debated by archaeologists. They also made distinctive pottery, decorated with incised patterns. These objects were not just for survival, they show a desire for beauty and a rich cultural life. Within the small workshops scattered around the village, people would have spent hours crafting the items needed for daily tasks, and perhaps for trade with neighboring communities. Despite all we know, Skara Brae still holds many mysteries. Why was the village abandoned? For a long time it was believed that a sudden disaster, perhaps the same storm that buried it, forced the inhabitants to flee, leaving their possessions behind. However, more recent evidence suggests a more gradual departure. The climate may have changed, with the weather becoming colder and wetter, and the encroaching sand making life by the bay too difficult. Perhaps the community simply moved on, their society evolving as they found new places to live and new ways to survive. The exact reason remains one of Orkney's great unsolved puzzles. Skara Brae is more than just an archaeological site. It is a profound connection to our deepest past. It teaches us about the resilience, ingenuity, and community spirit of our ancestors. These were not primitive people, but sophisticated individuals who created a comfortable and complex society in a challenging environment. They built homes that lasted for millennia and left behind clues that allow us to piece together their daily lives. By walking through their village and touching the stones they shaped, we are reminded that the fundamental human needs for shelter, community, and beauty have not changed. Skara Brae stands as a timeless monument to the enduring strength of the human spirit.